All right. How are we going to talk about that one? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I find out the next 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah. Game wrapped up about 20, 25 minutes ago. The good guys win 30 to 29. And there was a lot that happened in this game. It was a great game of football. Whoever won, it would have been an excellent game. And a lot of the times, it feels like we get shitty games on Thursday Night Football. So that was nice. And I can say that this team did a lot of things that I liked. They did some things that I didn't like. At the end of the day, I'm happy to move to 4-1. I'm happy that so many parts of this team played well, but I do have a couple hang-ups, and they worry me long term. And I will have to address that at some point. Uh, just watching a montage of Carson runs over here. Uh, shout out to Chris Carson, by the way. I didn't think this was going to be a Chris Carson game, but it was. It really was. And sorry, my voice is a little shot right now. I was yelling at the TV a little bit after the game ended the way that it did. But so this game, the Seahawks, I really thought we were going to come out fired up and playing well. You know, Paul Allen's number got put in the Ring of Honor. Well, not his number, but Paul Allen, the person, got put in the Ring of Honor before the game. Obviously, it's a huge divisional tilt, a game that can really decide which way your season goes. And I really thought the team was going to come out fired up. And honestly, I thought we came out flat. Offensively, the offensive line was getting beat down on the first couple of drives. Jaron Brown had a really bad fumble that hopefully, in my opinion, will push the coaching staff to feature a 3 wide receiver core of Lockett, Metcalf, and Moore, and relegate Jaron Brown to special teams and 4 wide receiver sets only. Defense, the run defense started this game slow. We gave up some big runs to Todd Gurley. It looked bad, but the defense did nut up against the pass. We got some early pressure on Goff. We forced some third down failures, and we were able to force a couple of field goals. And then the offense wakes up. And Wilson, I have to say, I've seen Russell Wilson play a lot of games. I've seen him put up bigger numbers than this. You can probably find games where he had a better passer rating than this. I don't know if I've ever seen him play better because the dude evaded like 5 or 6 sacks in this game to get off amazing throws or to just pick up a few yards on the scramble. And I he may have thrown 2 bad passes the whole game. Maybe not even that. Maybe just the one to Jaron Brown on the third down. I mean, I've seen him play. I've seen every game of Russell Wilson's career, and I don't know if I've ever seen him better than that. And he's going to have games with bigger numbers, but just on a per attempt basis, that was as good as I've seen him. And it kills me to know that on a night like tonight, we passed the ball 24 times and we ran the ball 43 times. He was as on fire as I've ever seen him. And once again, we made the running game the focal point of the offense. Good news is the running game did work. Carson, I've been hard on him this season, obviously. I gave him a lot of credit for what he did last week. I didn't think he was going to have a big game tonight. I thought this was a Rashad Penny type game. I wanted to see Penny on outside runs. I wanted to see Penny split out at wide receiver a little bit maybe. I wanted Carson to take it a little easy because he took a beating against Arizona, and he did not. Buck 18 and a touchdown catch to win the game, as it turned out, on fourth down. Carson was one of our best players, so I have to give him a huge shout out. Off the short week, he goes out there and he kills it. But really, once the offense got cooking late in the first quarter and then going into basically the whole rest of the game, it was some really special stuff. Disley had an incredible game. Lockett was great. The touchdown catch by Lockett, I mean, my God. But you can go down the list, and other than maybe like offensive linemen, so many guys on this team performed. DK Metcalf with the long touchdown pass. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Let him use him the way the Vikings used Randy Moss his rookie season. Just throw it deep to him a couple times a game and let him try to go beat somebody and make a play, and he can do it. And tonight we saw it. Good game by the rookie. Rashad Penny had a great catch that set up one of our scoring drives, and I thought Penny played a pretty good game for his first game back. We didn't need him as much as I thought because of the Carson thing, but I liked what I saw from Penny mostly. Even David Moore, I got to give David Moore his ups. David Moore, not a huge game by any means, but we don't usually succeed on those wide receiver bubble screens, and he won on a bubble screen today for a touchdown. So salute to Mr. Moore. The only guys on offense who I can really criticize would be Jerron Brown and probably Mike Upati. Upati picked up like 3 holding calls in this game. He got beat repeatedly, although there aren't very many offensive linemen in the league that, aren't going to get beaten repeatedly by Aaron Donald, so I can't even hate him that much for that. But honestly, after that those first 2 offensive possessions, I thought the offensive line played much better. I'm not saying it was great. It's not going to be great when you're playing Donald and Matthews and frickin' Fowler, Dante Fowler too. It's not going to be great. But the offensive line did enough to clear the way for a really nice game running the ball. And Wilson had to make a lot of amazing plays in the backfield to keep plays alive, don't get me wrong. But I thought the offensive line had their moments tonight. I'm not even really mad at all of them. I mean, we lost DJ Fluker early in this game. We sent out Jamarco Jones. I thought Jamarco held his own. I didn't notice him out there sucking or anything like that. So yeah, I can't take away nothing from those guys. I don't understand coming out early in this game and playing so conservatively. I don't understand why we were single teaming Aaron Donald at first. It just seems so obvious to me that Aaron Donald is a dude you need to double team. Basically, once we started to do that, once we started to take Aaron Donald out of this game a little bit, that is as good an offensive performance as I've seen. And huge shout out to just about everybody on that offense. Now, as far as the defense goes, I gave them credit for playing well in the first part of the game. They held the Rams to a couple field goals. They forced a couple punts, but the game took a terrible turn when we passed up a 4th and a foot at the 30-yard line. We had 4th and a foot at the 30-yard line with about 1:50 left. No, it was, about 2 minutes left on the clock in the first half, and we send out the field goal kicker. And before I get on the defense, let me just say, if this is a tough football team, which everybody tells me it is, Pete Carroll talks about the circle of toughness. Everybody talks about how, we're a tough team. We run teams over. We run the ball up the middle. We pound teams. If we are a tough football team, you go for it and you get it on 4th down. That's what I'm going to say about that. Kicking a field goal on 4th and a foot from the 30-yard line with 2 minutes left in the first half, that is pussy football. And we cannot say that we are a tough, hard-nosed, run-first football team if we don't run the ball in that situation. We deserved every bad thing that happened after we tried to kick that field goal and missed. We missed the field goal. We gave up a touchdown with 6 seconds left. It was a 10-point, maybe 14-point swing. I'm not even saying you have to run the ball. Let Wilson go convert it. Wilson was playing incredible in that game. Let him go hit a short pass. Let him go run for it. Do something to tell me that you are not scared of this game. I know we tried it against the Saints a couple times and it didn't work. That doesn't mean it was the wrong decision, but so that set me off. I was mad that whole halftime because of that. Just really, in my opinion, it is so obvious that you go for it there. Even if you don't get it, it's preferable to missing a field goal because you give up the extra field position. Yeah, that set me off a little bit. That's the kind of stuff that I look at and I wonder, are we ever going to win a Super Bowl with Pete Carroll? Because, look, that's another situation. Put the game in the hands of your quarterback. Don't put the game in the hands of your defense. Your defense has problems, and we saw them in this game. Don't put the game in their hands. Take the game out of their hands and let Wilson control as much of the game as possible. So that's what I have to say about that. That was a big swinging point in this game, and it cost us big time. And had we lost this game, that would have been the number one reason. That would have been squarely on the head of Pete Carroll. Ridiculous. After that, the defense was mostly crappy. I mean, we did not get pressure on Goff at all after that point, it felt like. The only times we got pressure on Goff were when we sent blitzes. And we got to him a few times when we did that. Shout out to Quentin Jefferson. Shout out to Jadeveon Clowney. Those guys got to the quarterback a couple times, but we never sacked him. We only were able to pressure him into a few bad throws and bad decisions, which I'll take it. But there was a huge portion of this game where we did not sniff Goff, and he just sat back there in the pocket. And Jared Goff, flawed though he may be, can pick you apart when he has all day in the pocket. And he did. Because our secondary can't keep up with those wide receivers. I could have told you that before the game, and it was obvious. So throughout a big portion of this game, from the 2-minute warning of the first half onward, they went up and down the field on us like it was easy. Secondary playing soft, nobody playing the ball, everybody just kind of backing off and giving up stuff over the middle, giving up those 10 to 12 yard plays like if we don't, it's not a big deal. So that was frustrating, and I honestly feel like, other than some of the stuff early in the game, the pass rush never really got going. We got 5 hits on Goff, maybe a few more good pressures, but I'm looking at those guys now because Anza, this is his 3rd game now. He should be ramping up. He should be close to 100%. I'm looking at somebody like Rasheem Green to be a more consistent contributor. I'm not saying he had a bad game today. In fact, he made a couple nice plays today. But I'm really going to start looking for those guys to step it up. This was a game where the pass rush needed to feature. It didn't. And because of that, we got picked apart. So as the game went on, the tackling got sloppy. I mean, can we not tackle? My God, so many missed tackles in that secondary. Michael Kendrick's missing a tackle, which has become kind of a theme for him. Just kind of a rough game for some of those guys. Trey Flowers regressing. Still not a bad player, but he's not advanced from his rookie season the way I would have hoped. I don't know. It was a tough game to watch defensively. And to be perfectly honest, some of the big plays that we made on defense in that second half came because the Rams made mistakes. Their receivers dropped passes. Goff missed the open guy. And, of course, the interception, which was one of the biggest plays of the game, the Tedrick Thompson pick. I mean, what? Who you going to... Look, credit to Tedrick Thompson. He made a great play on the ball, and he made a great play to keep that ball off the turf. But I'm not going to sit here and act like it wasn't completely on Gerald Everett for letting that ball bounce off his hands. And there was the delay of game on the final drive that pushed them back 5 yards, which ended up being a huge deal on the field goal. Stuff like that. Those were the biggest plays of the second half for this defense. We didn't force stuff, just some good stuff happened. So that was tough to watch. And look, if you told me we weren't going to get a good pass rush in this game, I'm not surprised that the secondary got beat up, okay? I'm not surprised that the linebackers forced to cover downfield against wide receivers, which also set me off. I mean, we're trying that junk where we have the base defense out there against 3 wide receivers, and tonight, in my estimation, it hurt. It hurt bad, but I'm not mad at the secondary. I'm not mad at Griffin. I'm not mad at Thompson, really, or Flowers, McDougald. They missed some plays in this game, but you're going to give up a lot of plays if your pass rush isn't delivering. And tonight, my number one disappointment has to be we should have gotten to Goff more than we did. No sacks, 5 hits on the quarterback, a handful more pressures. Not good enough. Not good enough. Shout out to Jadeveon Clowney, though. He forced a big fumble and recovered it. That was a huge play in this game that should have actually opened the door to us starting to put the game away, but we screwed up the end of half sequence. What else? What else? I think that's about it, guys. I've gone on long enough about this one. I'm excited. That was a tough game. Relieved to get out of there with the win. I think we made it a little harder on us than we needed to. The end of half sequence was brutal. Hopefully, hopefully the coaches watch what happened in this game and they learned the right lessons from it. Hopefully they understand how close we came to blowing this one. We came so close to blowing it. Hopefully they get that and they understand what they did to help that happen. That play call on the 3rd and 2 when we were trying to wrap up the game, that's like one of the few circumstances where I would be okay with just running Carson up the middle. I would have been okay with rolling out Wilson and giving him a couple targets to throw the ball to, and he can try to run for it if not. Running a QB option play straight out of college with Tyler Lockett is, I appreciate the creativity, but I have to ask why we're doing it there, you know? Maybe I'm just being biased because the play was a disaster and it looked much, and it just looks so bad, but I don't know. Could have easily cost us this game. But what a game. What a game. What a game. That was a good team we played. The Rams are a good team. Maybe they're not as great as they were last year, but they're a good football team. Beating them is not a little deal, it's a big deal. And I'm proud of the team for getting it done. All right, this is a 17-minute video now. I try not to make them this long anymore, but you kind of got to after a game like this, guys. There's just a lot to digest. And, I'll say it again, Russell Wilson is playing the best football of his career. His numbers are through the roof, off the charts. His receivers are killing it. Tyler, Disley, Carson's playing good too. I'm not saying write him out of the game plan. I'm saying let Russ cook. That's the hashtag. If you want to post about it on Twitter, hashtag let Russ cook. Especially tonight, by the way, we were playing against a secondary that sucked. Their secondary sucked tonight. Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, Coleman. I saw very little good stuff from those guys. Attack those mofos. Go Hawks. I'll make Husky videos shortly. I actually think I'm going to live stream tonight after I take care of a few things. You can watch out for that if you want to.